Hello, Leo. Welcome to your January 2025 reading. My name is Nigel, and you have found Alchemy, and I am forever trying to straighten out these cards. Drives me crazy, Leo. Okay. I think today I'm going to start with your astro weather. Okay. You pulled Libra again. I don't know if you are new to the channel or not, but for many, many months, in many different readings, you've been pulling either the Justice Scales or Libra, and it's going to be different for all of you, but here it is again, right? This could, like I've said in your past readings, it could be a call for balance. Something may be out of balance in your life. There may be one of you out there who is dealing with some sort of legal situation, right? But for many of you, there is something that is not balanced correctly that spirit keeps drawing your attention to, that you may be pouring a lot of your attention into one direction of your life, and that your life needs to be more balanced. It just keeps coming out over and over and over again in your readings. It's really strange. So keep that, please, and take it seriously coming into the new year. Let's look at these cards here. You have Venus, and this is beauty, artistry, and love. Well, what do we say about Venus, right? It is the ruler of major life changes in money and love. That's number one. But if we look at January 2025, on January 3rd, Venus enters Pisces, and you may be looking at certain things in your life through rose-colored glasses for the next few weeks. So make sure to perform a reality check here and there to make sure you are looking at things correctly and not looking at things like through that Neptunian sunglass, okay? On January 18th, January 18th, we have Venus in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Do not do seriousness today. Concentrate on lightness no matter what you do. It's a very light day. It's a day for lighthearted fun. Anything serious, push to another day, okay? On January 19th, Mercury in Capricorn sextile Venus in Pisces. Get that thing off your chest. You have something that you're either holding back, you don't want to say, you don't want to start trouble, you're not being manipulative in any way, but you're holding back something. It's time to get that off your chest. Go deep is the mantra for January 19th. You also have the Ascendant card, and it says appearance, first impression, mask. What is your ascendant? What is your ascendant? Now, when you look at your ascendant, you have to contemplate how your early upbringing has affected you, positively and negatively. If you think it's been all negative or all positive, you're not looking at it correctly. We have positive and negative in our upbringing, and it's time to look at it logically and say, okay, this happened. This wasn't so great for me as a person. This happened. This was amazing for me as a person. This really helped me. And sort through that and then figure out how you choose to present yourself and where that comes from as far as your upbringing goes, because your ascendant has a lot to do with that here, Leo. You have here a Libra again. Wow, you have Libra in the 7th house. Balance, one-on-one relationships, partnerships. What did I say? This might be a relationship. It might be a relationship that is imbalanced. It might be a relationship that you're giving too much to. It might be a relationship you're not giving enough to. But there is some sort of imbalance here, and it keeps coming up over and over and over again in your reading. You have the Rain card, and what I like about this is the rain washes us clean, right? Definitely. It is in this deck anyway, and for this reading, it is an energy of being washed clean. Get that thing off your chest. I think that has something to do with that. I really, really do. Oh wow, look at this. So I pulled these cards, and so far I think this is like my 3rd reading in this series for January, and everybody else got 1 card. But when this card came out, I really wanted to go further with it because a year from now means nothing to me, and I really wanted to know what that meant. And if you watch the shuffle, you know I pulled another card, and you're going to have an opportunity. There is something obviously going on in January that you're either thinking about, wondering about, planting seeds on, or there is something that begins to happen, and a year from now, an opportunity from that seed will present itself, something you may not be expecting, which is really nice to see. As we go on to the Norse deck here, you pulled Odin, and this is Omniscient, wisdom, poetry, and language. Odin. This is actually my favorite card of the deck. Odin is, he's an all-seeing shapeshifter. He's one of the first gods created. He's a force of omniscience. He represents transformation and wisdom. This card brings with it, Leo, wisdom, healing, and the command of language. Therefore, it's a very supportive energy, and it's associated with the planet Mercury, the planet of communication. So there may be something, and we talked about getting something off your chest. There might be something you need to talk about. There may be a truth that you need to talk about, because here it is. It says a truth will be revealed to you in divine timing. All that was kept secret will come to light to set you free. This may be a truth that's revealed to you, or this seriously may be something that you are going to share with others as a truth, something that's been kept under wraps for a long time. You have Wide Open, number 42. And in this deck, Wide Open, it's a time, it's a sign that the time is now to begin a huge manifestation process. Do not think or stay small. Start creating, even if it's in your mind, start creating. It's a time to think big, because you are wide open in this new year. Wide open. Receive the feather. And I'm not sure whether it was Aquarius or Sagittarius that also received the feather, but it's abundance, easy money, air related, right? It could be travel. Mercury is, by the way, we talked about Mercury here, and Odin is also the lord of travel. So you could be planning travel. But it is communicative, very, very communicative card, but it is abundance in some way. You may be making moves with your money, or making moves about your money, or trying to plan for the future. It really looks that way to me, and it does look promising. It looks promising long term. Okay. Let's move on to your tarot. All right. So before we do that, I'd like to do your charms, because I forgot we're doing charms too. We'll do your letters first. So these are the letters that came out, and these letters are going to be significant in some way. Now, when you look at these letters, I'm going to try to turn them to where you could see them. When you look at these letters, don't look at it as just initials. It definitely could be initials. But it could be anything, and I'll explain that in a minute. But let me rattle these off. You have B, V, Q. I don't know where my pointer is. Here it is. Wait a second. You have B, V, Q, C, W, P as in Peter, A as in Apple. Now, these letters could very well be someone's initials, anyone's initials. It could be meaningful to you. It could be a job. It could be a book that you're reading. It could be, it could be a state. It could be an airline. It could be symbolic of a religion you follow, right? Philosophy you follow. It could be anything. Keep these under your hat. Even if you don't want to come back to this reading per se, write them down, keep them aside, and watch and see how somehow these letters, one of these letters, all of these letters, end up meaning something to you by the end of the month. Leo, for sure. Now let's look at your charms. You do have the shell, and the shell is indicative of feminine energy around you. Now, you yourself could be a divine feminine. You could be feminine energy. Typically speaking, it is not just divinely feminine energy. This is typically woman. Like, there could be a woman around you in your life that, for better or for worse, has an effect on your month. You have 1984. Now, that year itself could mean something to you, or as many of us know, that is a book by George Orwell. It's about a dystopian future, right? It's a novel that many, many people love. I mean, I personally really love it. And if you are into reading and you haven't read it, I would definitely say read it. If you're not, I believe that there's a movie you can watch. There's things online you could read to get the gist of it. Very interesting. Especially with the Q here. Very interesting. But anyway, I don't want to go too far into that. It is what it is. It could be the year for you. You have tougher than the rest. So you, my friend, are tougher than the rest. This is, by the way, it pays to note that both of these charms were upside down. And when I say that, this 1984 could be something, It could be something that you keep inside or that you don't talk about readily or that maybe you don't get a chance to talk about, but it's something, it could have been something that occurred in 1984, or very well, you could have certain thoughts about the world as it is right now being a lot like it was in that book. Or perhaps that's how you used to feel. But it is upside down, so it's not something that is in the forefront of your mind or your tongue. This is something that you may keep to yourself. Now, the fact that tougher than the rest came out, this is, you have a very quiet toughness about you. You're a lot tougher than you look. You're a lot tougher than you come off. Things bounce off you a lot more than perhaps other people around you see. I'll just leave it there. You also have the exorcism. You have the exorcism charm, which means there is something in your life that needs to be exercised, needs to be let go of, needs to be released. Maybe that it's this imbalance. Maybe the imbalance needs to be released, but there is a change that needs to occur in order for you to move ahead. And I think I have said that to you on more than one occasion. There is something that maybe needs to be freezed out. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take a human being in your life and say, that's it, I'm not talking to you anymore. It just could be you turning to a person and saying, hey, I'm not accepting that behavior anymore. It is not good for me. It's not conducive for my future. It's not conducive for the people around me. And I am freezing that part of this out of my life for 2025. Very well could be. This could be something that's coming from you. You may look at a part of yourself and say, you know what, I don't have any use for that anymore. I'm moving on from that. It's going to be different for all of you. The number 7 might matter to you because the number 7 clearly came out on this die. So you have the number 7. Interesting. Pretty sure the number 7 is Neptune. Things are not as they appear. Remember, we talked about rose-colored glasses. It doesn't have to be that. It could very well. This is something you need to keep under your hat. You also have the phallic symbol in tiger's eye. Now, this is obviously, you have the woman. Here is the man. And the man is divinely protected, or the man is very protective over the woman. Now, there is, being that it's made out of tiger's eye, that is a very protective stone. And this male could be radiating protection over a female in his life, or you could be the female and there could be a divinely masculine around you that is very protective or will be very protective this month. So let's move on from your charms and we're going to go straight into the first leg of your month. Okay, so first leg, let's do it. You have a fair woman. So there might be a fair woman in your midst. This woman does not have to be blonde. She could have just very light skin. Very light-skinned woman, okay? Light-skinned woman. Now, this could be a light-skinned woman. It could be someone who's very fair, balanced fair. It could be someone with blonde, gray, or white hair, okay? So we're running the gamut here. You start out, listen, I really like this first leg, but I have to tell you, the last leg, amazing. But anyway, you have the 3 of Cups here, and this is some sort of a harvest, right? There's something you're celebrating. There's some sort of a harvest you're celebrating. You're grateful for something. It's a grateful card. And this is something, I don't know, this could be you being grateful to God, if that's a belief that you have. This could be you being grateful to the universe, or you being grateful for something. You know, following this, to drive the point home, you have the Ace of Cups. I mean, that is really nice energy, especially one leading into another. The Ace of Cups is a blessing. A blessing is bestowed on you. And it has something to do with a woman. Perhaps you get news about something from a woman. Perhaps a woman's helping you celebrate. But this leads right into the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is straight up Jupiter energy. I mean, Jupiter energy is like the great wheel of life, right? Now, on this side, the thing is, there's 2 sides to this card, and it shows 2 approaches to the wheel of life. And this side speaks of the great mysteries of the wheel. The Sphinx guards the secrets of destiny. You may be someone who ponders these secrets in general. You may be someone who is not satisfied just existing in a world You may be someone who enjoys or needs to, has a need to seek answers outside the box, to figure out, okay, we're here on the earth. Well, why? Okay, why did that happen in Afghanistan? Or why did this happen in the Bible? Or why did this happen, in New York? I mean, this might be you might consider everything around you. You might be someone that questions things and really wants answers to the great mysteries of life. But it is very expansive energy. So you expand your mind that way. It's almost like something you have to do, Leo, or whoever it is I'm reading for. Now, when we add this column up and we break it down, we get Mercury. And we talked about Mercury right here. We talked about Mercury. So Mercury seems to be important in this reading already. Mercury is Virgo, Gemini energy, but more than that, it is communication. It's travel. It could be travel. It could be you planning to travel, but I'm really getting the strong indication that it has something to do with you using your voice, communicating, or someone communicating with you. There is a communication on the table. Something is about communication. Let's just keep going. It's kind of like we're putting a puzzle together here, Leo. Okay, let's look at your second leg. Now, if you notice when I was dealing out the cards, I drew 3 instead of 1 because I didn't really understand 1, so I kept drawing them. And what's interesting to me right off the bat, if you look at these 2 cards, because I pulled that one last, is that they're both eyes. You have eyes on you in the middle of the month. One person is not very happy, upset. Honestly, this person could be upset for no reason. This person could be upset for a reason, but there is someone around you who is upset. And then this one says psychic ability, trust your intuition. You may be, listen, there is one person around you who is upset for whatever reason they have. There is another person who really believes themselves to know things when in fact they don't. There is someone around you who feels that they're wise when in fact they're not. Both of these people seem to have their eye on you. I don't think it's nefarious. It doesn't seem bad. It just seems like, there's a bunch of activity and people around you. And it does say here, lighthearted, carefree time. This is really what you want. You want to keep the mood light. But it seems like there's 1 or 2 people, and I'm going to say definitely 2 people who don't keep the mood light. There's 2 people around you that seem to have some sort of a problem. Now, for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to impact you that much, okay? It is there. It is your I'm going to say mid-month. It seems to be prevalent, but judging by your other cards, it doesn't seem to have a huge impact on you. Let's just look at the cards here. You have the Empress, which is Taurus, it's Libra energy, and the Empress brings abundance. No matter what, the Empress brings abundance. In every aspect of your life. So this card is a sign of good fortune. It's just odd that who are these people around you here, Leo, that I don't know. I'm wondering if those 2 eyes are 2 eyes from the same person. There might be someone around you who has mood swings that disturbs your peace. It's very possible. Those eyes are very similar. All right. We'll get back to that maybe, but we have the good things here. We have the Empress, and she's generous and will only present what you truly desire. This desire is yours to share and communicate. And there's that Mercury energy, the communication. There is something that you truly desire, and you really need to communicate it. In the center of your whole reading, you have the Judgment card on this side. And the Judgment card, by the way, this deck of cards was given to me by a Leo. I just realized that. But anyway, so you have Judgment, and this is Pluto energy, Scorpio energy for sure. The people, let me hold this card up. It's easier for me to do this. You look at these people on the card. The man's holding a skull to show that he understands the transitional nature of the flesh, life and death, right? The woman's holding an egg, and it contains the universe, but it's the acknowledgement of her own primal creative power. The child's hands are empty. His conscience is clear, and he's innocent, therefore his load is much lighter. Above them flies Horus, the god of the rising sun, and that's very, very Leo, right? Very, very Leo energy. The question here is, what is needed to make your load as light as possible? How do you lighten your load? Your load seems to be pretty heavy. It seems to be pretty heavy. It's that balance again. It seems to be heavy, and it seems to be made heavy by an outside force. That's all I'm going to say. You have here the Knight of Swords, right? And this is Mercury and Gemini energy. Now, the Knight, as you can see, is facing two different directions on either side. And when he's facing this way, it represents your inner self. And this Knight cherishes freedom. And perhaps when he admits what he wants to pursue, he won't fear to show his true face. Okay? It's that face thing again. We talked about that. Where did we talk about that? Your rising sign. The mask you wear. I'm not saying you're wearing a mask as if you're a fraud, but there is something you keep to yourself. There is something you may keep to yourself more than you admit to others. Now, what did I say? I said that this Knight cherishes his freedom. And perhaps when he admits what he wants to pursue, he will not fear to show his face. Maybe his load will be lighter. There is somebody else. There is somebody else. You want a lighter time. Somebody else. If this is either two people or this is somebody with two distinct sides to them that, are a little, I would say, almost off balance. Now, the Jug, that lighthearted time that we talked about, I don't know if you remember, but we were talking when we were talking about your astrology, January 18th, Venus in Pisces conjunct Saturn in Pisces. We were talking about lightness. We were talking about that during your astro weather. So maybe you should refer back to that. But more fascinating, when we add the numbers up and we break them down, we get Mercury again. Communication. What are you holding back? There's something you're holding back. You need to communicate. I mean, the communication is making your load very heavy, or the lack of you being able to use your voice. At least that's what I'm seeing for whatever Leo I'm reading for here. Now, the third leg is something that's very, very good here, Leo, because look at this. First of all, you have the owl, and it says good advice from a wise person. This is in reverse. Now, why is it in reverse? I don't know. Let's see. Let's look at all these cards in the order that they came out. First of all, we have the Sun, which we all know is Leo, right? This is happiness. This is the cleanest, happiest, truest form of Leo. Have you shared something finally, Leo? Have you finally lightened your load here? You have the Three of Pentacles following this, right? And this is Saturn in Capricorn. There could be something in your life that you're planning, something that's going to require other people, or other things, right? So like if you were opening up, let's say, an internet business, you would need a special kind of computer. If you were trying to advertise, you're going to have to hire someone to do that for you. I'm probably not hitting it in those examples, but there is an outside force, be it a machine, a tool, or a group of people, or a person, right? And if you're planning or thinking on working on something larger in the future, you may be calling upon others or thinking about what other people or things beyond yourself you will need in the future. And the best part is the last card is the 10 of Pentacles, Mercury in Virgo. And this is true Mercury in Virgo energy, because he has the symbol of Mercury and the symbol of Virgo right there on his cloak. And this has been an awesome, it's just awesome, Leo. Ending with the highest abundance card in the deck. You seem like you can't lose. This idea or work you're doing or contemplating has tentacles, because the 10 of Pentacles has far-reaching tentacles into the future. It's not something that just happens and you're happy for a day or a month. This is something that has long-term potential. Now, the fact that you got good advice from a wise person in reverse, you don't need advice. You don't need to listen to someone else here. You don't. Maybe people are well-meaning, but you don't need to, you don't need it. And fascinating, this breaks down. This column breaks down to Mercury once again. Mercury is huge for you. It's over and over and over again, huge for you. Communication, so you could take off. Communication, so you could speak your truth. So you could show who you really are. Share what you want to pursue. This may be something you're not doing. You may not be doing that, okay? I want to look at these cards a little bit differently here. I'm going to pull this up and look at this bottom row. So what we have here at the bottom row, we have something that you're grateful for, leading straight into abundance, leading straight into happiness. Let's look at the next row. The next row. And this, I haven't done this for anyone else. I'm just really drawn to do this for you. What you have here is this blessing from the universe. You're being asked to speak your truth. Lighten your load. And you're reaching out, or you're thinking about what the next step is and what you're going to have to implement in order to get whatever it is you're looking for. I don't know what it is you're trying to do here. And here, I'm going to just put this like this. You have the Wheel of Fortune. You have your inner self looking to take off. Looking to take off. Pondering things. This could be you pondering about world economics, world politics, the mysteries of life, religion. This could be you just trying to figure out why we're here. There might be a part of you, especially with this 1984 book, that ponders all these things. There is something in your inner self that may be stifled. But I have to tell you, the end result is so good, but I think you need to stand your ground here, Leo. You do need to stand your ground. Let's look at your challenges. See if I can move some of this stuff over. So in your challenges, you have Broken Ring. And it says Parting of the Ways. Now, Parting of the Ways, I did not see any breakups here. This could be you walking away from a job that you don't like. You walking away from the idea of a thing that you do for a living that you don't like. This could be you arguing, with someone in your life. It could very well be. Let's look at this. Now, this is a Swedish deck, right? This is Moon and Taurus. Normally, ironically, this card has scales on it. Traditionally, it has the scales of justice, and it's odd that you pulled this card. So look at this. This is the Swedish version of this card. So what's fascinating is you have Judaism. You have, from what I can see, this is very Leo-esque, the sun here. You have the moon. You have the eye. The eye. You have the ram down here. Now, what's fascinating about this is that not only are the scales of justice, you have that balance thing all over again, right? The Swedish deck has this depiction. This might be quite simple, like you're spending time in the gym. You might be spending time working out. Look at this card, right? And that it may be challenging for you this month to do what you want to do that way. You also may feel a challenge for you is you may feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders this month. It is temporary energy here, Leo. You have the Queen of Cups. This is in your challenges. So the Queen of Cups could be a love interest in your life who is very, very challenging. This could be, it could be a boss, could be a coworker, could be a parent, could be a family member. She could be a water sign, but doesn't have to be. It's either a water sign or it is someone in your life who is a love interest. This person may be very challenging for you this month. Very challenging. You have the Four of Wands, and in this deck, it's kind of interesting, right? The Four of Wands is usually a pretty happy card. It is like, the four posts, the happily ever after, people dancing under but look at this version of the Four of Wands, right? There's flames, right? And it is in your challenge area. So when I see this, I have to say, your home life will be challenging this month. Your home life or someone you consider to be home to you. So it could be a relationship, could be your parents, could be your wife, could be your husband, but there's some kind of thing going on here, okay? And again, I'm going to stress that whatever it is going on is temporary energy, but it doesn't mean, Leo, that you shouldn't be speaking your truth. Okay? That's not what it means. When we add these numbers up and we break them down, we get Pluto. Kaboom, right? Scorpion energy. But more than that, what does Pluto do? It levels things, right? It's birth, it's death and rebirth. Something has to change here. Definitely there's a breakdown of some kind. Now moving on to your opportunities. You have the candle and it says you will be shown the way. If you are spiritual at all, this is a very, very good omen. If you're asking for guidance, if you're asking to plead for the universe to please show you the way, for God to show you the way, for the angels to show you the way, whatever it is you pray to, whatever it is you believe in, even if it's yourself, if you're saying to yourself, please let my sixth sense kick in so I will be shown the way. You are going to be shown the way. The candle is here to tell you that. And what we have here is the Four of Cups. Now, another interesting thing about this deck, the Four of Cups is usually quite different. It's usually a card of, I don't want to do that. Or, being stubborn maybe. But in this Swedish version, look. I mean, it couldn't be any further from that, right? Couldn't be any further from that. So, and don't forget, this is your opportunity pile. And what is she doing? She's creating something. And it doesn't mean, a baby. Maybe for one of you it's a baby. But what this, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a female. This is something you are creating. You're bringing something to life. You want to do something. You want your voice. You're trying to pursue something here. You're trying to create something. And you're going to have the opportunity to do it. You have here, wow, great. You have the Five of Pentacles here in reverse. And look at this nasty ass card. A little rat, right? Is Mars and Taurus energy. I really like how it stays true to the signs here, but it's in reverse, and that's great, especially for your opportunities pile. And I'm really glad I do all the shuffling on camera so you can see that it does come out by itself. Now, the Five of Pentacles is, not a good card. It's loss of money. It's feeling abandoned. It's feeling out in the cold. It's feeling destitution sometimes. Failure. This is the opposite of that. If you've been feeling like a failure, if you've been feeling like you have lack of money or lack of anything, you have the opportunity this month to turn that around because it is in reverse. You also have the Hanged Man in reverse. Piscean energy. Piscean energy. The period of sacrifice and waiting is over. The Hanged Man is sometimes can be seen as a sacrificial moment in time, or a pause, or a contemplation. It's not a bad card, but when he's in reverse like this, the time of waiting is over. The time of sacrifice is over. The time of saying quiet is over. The time of trying to think and rethink, and it's over. Action. It's time for action. And I think you know that. And when we add this up and break it down, we get Jupiter. Expansion. The numbers don't lie. You have the Sagittarian card, the planet of expansion, success and expansion. It's very, very Wheel of Fortune, very, very Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so let's pull out a couple of these guys. I did shuffle these. I'll give them one more shuffle. For Leo, please. For Leo, please, for January 2025. One more. You have, you can't make this up, Leo. What does that say? Communication. Damn. Very, very Mercury again. You need to say something, and you need to do it soon. You just need to do it soon. And at the bottom of the deck, you have message of love. It is that ace, right? If you need to share something with someone, you could do it in a very loving way. If you're afraid to hurt someone's feelings, there is a way you can express yourself and get your point across and do it in a very loving way. All right, we're going to do your numbers now. Are you ready for this? Let's go. Okay, we add all the numbers in this reading up and we break it down. We get number 3, which is Jupiter. The planet of expansion. This is a month of expansion for you. Expansion isn't always it doesn't always feel good. Doesn't always feel good, but it's necessary for you to spread your wings and go forward. It really is. These are good cards. Don't waste the energy, okay? You have the planet of expansion in your corner. Now, out of all the numbers we talked about, the one that came out the most, believe it or not, was 10. Pluto energy. Death and rebirth. Scorpio. Death and rebirth. Something has to end. And when I say that, it doesn't mean that a relationship's going to end. And maybe it will. But it very well could be an aspect of a relationship needs to end in order for that relationship to expand. In order for your life to expand, something has to change. Okay? It can't stay the way it is. The planet that was mentioned the most, of course, was planet Mercury. Communication. The signs that were mentioned were Virgo, Gemini, Scorpio, Libra, Cancer, Pisces, Leo, Capricorn, Taurus, and Aries. Now, the sign that was mentioned the most, it's kind of like a tie, honestly. You have Virgo that was mentioned a lot, Gemini that was mentioned a lot, which are both Mercury signs, and you also have Cancer that was mentioned a lot. And the Cancer, where was it that we saw Cancer? There was Cancer mentioned here. I mean, in an abstract way. But you could have Cancer highly aspected in your chart. You could be dealing with a Cancer or something like that. Your lucky numbers are 42, 10, 5, 13, 34, and 3. I wish you all the luck. I will see you next time. Don't forget to watch your 2025 full year summary. Namaste.